ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine is a controversial and fascinating issue for discussion today. We must not disregard the significance of developments in the sea despite the fact that the battles on land and in the air have received significant focus. Black Sea coasts are shared by both nations, making naval power a key weapon in this conflict. The importance of naval operations, the decline of Russian dominance, and the recent incident with a burning Russian ship off the coast of South Korea will all be covered in this video.
Russian authorities say one warship was damaged in the attack overnight. Ukraine has not yet acknowledged the incident. They also claimed that British forces were involved in the explosions which damaged the Nord Stream gas pipelines last month.
Are these events a sign that the war has spread to the seas? Or maybe South Korea might be engaged? Or most importantly, will South Korea provide military support to Ukraine? Join us as we find out answers to all these questions in our video. Let's thoroughly explore the crucial role played by naval activities in the Russia-Ukraine conflict before getting into the burning ship event. As the conflict progressed, both nations came to understand how vital it was to preserve dominance at sea and control of the Black Sea. Early on, though, the Russian Navy encountered difficulties that forced them to remove several of their ships from the Black Sea. On the other hand, the Ukrainian army showed incredible determination in defending their port cities and deliberately targeting Russian-occupied territory. They successfully blocked Russian supply routes, weakened their position, and showed that Ukraine's naval forces should not be taken lightly.
The Ukrainians say aboard a Russian landing ship, a vessel that's been in port for some time, a ship that can deliver all kinds of supplies to the ground. A huge fire you can see there. Also some secondary explosions. There's a big oil tank nearby, we are told. Also some munitions depots perhaps exploding as well. Again, Ukrainians say this was a Ukrainian action against this Russian ship in port.
There are many reasons for the decline of Russian sea dominance. First off, the Ukrainian Navy made good use of its fleet of smaller, more maneuverable ships by engaging in hit and run operations and launching targeted attacks on Russian installations. These strategies enabled them to take advantage of openings and inflict serious damage to the Russian Navy. Secondly, Ukraine made use of its naval forces' technological advances. Modern missile systems and anti-ship capabilities were used, and they were very successful against Russian naval ships. This change in the balance of power has compelled Russia to review and make significant changes to its naval strategy. Additionally, by successfully defending key port cities, the Ukrainian Navy has been able to preserve essential supply channels, ensuring a constant supply of goods and reinforcements to its front lines. As a result, Russia is now much more vulnerable and is being compelled to use resources from its naval forces to deal with other urgent issues on the ground. It's important to remember that this war's frontline engagements have consequences that go well beyond the usual battlegrounds. Both nations have been significantly impacted by the hostilities, with unexpected deaths of important figures occurring in Russia, including oligarchs, politicians, and military leaders. Now that we know the role of naval activities in the conflict, we are going to dive into the mysterious incident involving a burning ship that happened off the coast of South Korea. Due to this occurrence, there are now concerns around the world over South Korea and Russia's possible involvement in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Let's investigate the specifics and sort out the issues relating to this occurrence. A Russian fishing boat off the coast of Ulsan, South Korea, caught fire for an unknown reason, according to sources based on the Consulate General of Busan. The fire harmed all 25 crew members on board. The fire resulted in the deaths of 4 sailors. At 12:43 p.m. local time, a Russian ship was seen engulfed in flames off the coast of Ulsan, which is about 300 kilometers southeast of Seoul in South Korea. The ship was on its way to deliver 100 tons of fish and seafood to Russia, but it stopped off the coast of Ulsan due to an unknown fire. The fire was fairly severe in its intensity. About 4 hours after the fire, the Republic of Korea's authorities released a statement about the incident, according to which 21 of the 25 people on board were evacuated, among those with light and severe burns. The 25 people on board, all of whom are believed to be Russian citizens, called for assistance from the crew members. The Ulsan Coast Guard reported that the crew's remaining sailors had passed while the injured were transported for immediate medical attention. According to the Russian state news agency, the bodies were discovered in the cauldron. A spokesperson for the Russian Federal Fisheries Agency's Forest Expedition Emergency Response Team told a Russian broadcaster that 21 survivors of the fire on the ship were transferred to lifeboats and then to South Korean rescue ships. Many comments were made regarding the statements made after the Russian ship caught fire off the coast of Olsen.
Today at 4:20 a.m., the Kyiv regime carried out a terrorist attack on Black Sea fleet ships and civilian vessels on the outer and inner harbours of the Sevastopol base station. The attack involved 9 unmanned aerial vehicles and 7 autonomous marine drones. Because of the measures taken by the Black Sea Fleet's ships, all the aerial targets were destroyed.
According to a spokesperson for the Russian Federal Fisheries Agency's Forest Expedition Emergency Response Team, the ship's captain reportedly gave the order to load the crew onto lifeboats. The Russian state news agency's spokesperson made the most discussed statement, claiming that the ship that caught fire off Olsen was sailing to the Sea of Okhotsk after being repaired in Busan. The statement's authenticity was questioned because it did not seem possible for the ship to be fixed and ready to sail after a fire that claimed the lives of 4 crew members. South Korea made a further remark that would become the subject of controversy. The fishing vessel was towed to the port of Olsen, and a team of firefighters put out the fire, according to a South Korean news agency. However, the statements made by the two nations did not line up with one another, raising concerns about the Russian government's strategy of concealing the truth. The burning ship incident has heightened previously escalating tensions between South Korea and Russia. South Korea declared that it was prepared to aid Ukraine militarily in the event of serious attacks on civilians. This statement shocked the Kremlin and sparked an immediate reaction from Russia. South Korea received a strong warning from Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, accusing them of aiding Ukraine's adversaries. Under a statement, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol said that, under dire circumstances, Ukraine might get lethal weaponry. The sudden shift in South Korea's posture has made things more difficult for Russia and raised diplomatic tensions. Will South Korea fulfill its promise to provide Ukraine with weapons? And what reaction will Putin have to these new developments? It's critical to take into account the larger context of foreign involvement in the Ukraine conflict, given that South Korea might join the fight. Recently, the United States approved the transfer of wheeled armored vehicles to Ukraine, enhancing its military strength. These armored vehicles are transferred using complicated logistics because they are shipped by rail and ship. This action demonstrates how committed the international community is to helping Ukraine with its defense. The arrival of these troops will considerably improve the Ukrainian military's offensive capabilities, allowing them to successfully fend off Russian invasion. To maximize the impact of these naval reinforcements, the United States and its allies are also training and supporting Ukrainian infantry. The Ukrainian military are undergoing intense training programs to become familiar with the cutting-edge tools and strategies needed to successfully operate the armored vehicles. This action shows the world community's support for Ukraine and dedication to upholding its sovereignty. However, there has been some controversy around the transfer of naval reinforcements to Ukraine. These efforts are fiercely opposed by Russia because it sees them as a direct threat to its own interests. The Kremlin has threatened catastrophic consequences and charged Western countries with meddling in the area. The international world is intently monitoring the situation as tensions rise to determine whether these naval reinforcements will alter the conflict's overall dynamics. Naval advancements and the transfer of armored vehicles have become crucial in determining the trajectory of the battle as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine develops. These troops are being sent to Ukraine in an effort to strengthen its defense capabilities, prevent further aggression, and safeguard its territorial integrity. The Russian response, however, continues to be a crucial element that can affect the conflict's escalation or de-escalation. So guys, this is for today. Hope you found today's video informative. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.